Welcome to the channel, Heartfelt Narratives, celebrating the incredible bond between animals and humans. Here are 8 stories of loyalty and friendship between humans and dogs. Miraculous rescues and emotional reunions. Each video brings you a heartwarming story that will inspire and move you. Don't miss the most touching moments from the animal world. Enjoy each new heartwarming story in every video. Hello everyone, please listen to the story. The starving dog on the roadside and the ending that moved the whole village. In a small, peaceful village called Lindenberg, located in the cool green forests of Germany, there is a dog named Bello. Bello is a smart and loyal dog with soft brown fur and round eyes that sparkle like 2 pearls. He is the joy of Mrs. Anna, the kind owner who always loves him like a family member. However, one day, while running and playing in the park, Bello accidentally got lost. In the middle of strange streets and bustling crowds, Bello was extremely confused. He ran everywhere, sniffing for his way home, but to no avail. Darkness gradually fell, the cold crept through every strand of fur, and his stomach growled with hunger. Bello wandered through the empty streets, looking for a place to stay. He lay curled up on the side of the road, his sad eyes watching the passers-by, hoping someone would stop. But everyone was in a hurry. No one noticed the little dog shivering in the night wind. Until a man stopped. Mr. Fritz, an old man who lived alone in a small wooden house by the lake Linden, happened to pass by. He noticed Bello's thin body, sad eyes. His wrinkled but warm hands gently stroked the dog's head. "You poor little boy," he whispered. Unable to bear to leave Bello alone, he picked him up and brought him home. Under the warm yellow light, Mr. Fritz carefully wiped the dirt off his messy fur, then placed a bowl of hot rice and some clean water in front of him. It had been a long time since Bello had such a delicious meal. When he was full, he gently buried his head in Mr. Fritz's lap, his tail wagging slightly, as a silent thank you. In the following days, Bello gradually recovered. He clung to Mr. Fritz, walked around the lake with him, sat on the porch watching the sunset, and curled up by the fire every night. The strange friendship between the old man and the lost dog blossomed in simplicity but full of warmth. But fate had other plans for Bello. One morning, while walking with Mr. Fritz, Bello suddenly stopped. Not far away, a woman was running along the street, her eyes full of worry. It was Mrs. Anna. For many days, she had been searching everywhere for her lost little friend. Bello was overwhelmed. He rushed towards Mrs. Anna, barking loudly, his eyes filled with tears. Mrs. Anna hugged Bello, tears streaming down her face in an outburst of happiness. Mr. Fritz stood silently watching, a gentle smile on his old face. Although he felt a little regretful, he knew that Bello had found his way home, back to the owner who loved him the most. Before leaving, Bello turned around, ran to rub his head against Mr. Fritz's hand as a lingering farewell. Mr. Fritz bent down, gently patted the little dog's head. Go, little boy, live happily. Since then, in the small village of Lindenberg, people have been telling each other the touching story of Dog Bello and Old Man Fritz. A story of love, kindness, and invisible strings that bind kind hearts together.
Touching story. Rescue the abandoned dog. It was raining in the distance. The cold water went down the alley, where a skinny, muddy puppy was hiding in the corner. Its eyes were slightly filled with fear, but still had a glimmer of hope. Anna, an animal-loving volunteer, had just finished her shift when she heard a soft, weak sound. She stopped. At first, the dog was scared, trying to burrow deeper into the corner, but Anna's gentle and warm voice gradually calmed it down. She gently relaxed, feeling the small body running gently because of the cold and hunger. Back at the research center, Anna dried the dog, then placed a bowl of warm food in front of it. The dog was hesitant at first, but when it smelled the fragrant smell and the golden sunlight, it ate it greedily, as if it had not been full for a long time. In the following days, Anna named the dog Lucky, because she believed that, from the moment she had not met her, its life had turned a new page. Lucky gradually recovered, learned to trust people, and every time Anna was happy, it was happy all weekend. A month later, a wonderful family adopted Lucky. When she saw it leave in loving arms, Anna replied happily. Another small life was saved, another story with a happy ending. Because in this world, there are always people like Anna, people who are willing to help small forgotten creatures. This is a touching story about the wild dogs who saved a truck from a tunnel disaster. It was getting dark. The mountain pass road across the rugged mountains became more deserted and cold than ever. John, a veteran truck driver, was driving his truck laden with goods towards the mountain tunnel. It was the only route that helped him reach town before nightfall. Suddenly, right in the middle of the road, 3 wild dogs unexpectedly rushed out in front of the truck. They did not run away, but stood right in the middle of the road, their eyes shining in the headlights. John quickly stepped on the brakes. The tires screeched loudly, stopping just a few meters away from the pack of dogs. "What's going on?" he muttered, annoyed at the obstruction. But when he was about to honk to chase them away, he suddenly realized something unusual. The leader dog, a large, gray-haired stray dog, barked loudly, his eyes flashing with urgency. He jumped up, scratching hard at the truck door as if to signal something. The other 2 dogs also growled, refusing to leave. John felt uneasy. Regaining his composure, he turned off the engine and got out of the truck. But at that moment, a loud explosion sounded from ahead. Rocks and dirt from the cliff fell down with a loud crash, sweeping the entire road and completely burying the tunnel entrance. John stood still, his heart pounding. If it weren't for the dogs, he would have been plunged straight into disaster in just a few seconds. He turned back, looking at the dogs with grateful eyes. The leader dog was still standing there, silently watching him. John knelt down and stroked its matted fur. Thank you guys." His voice broke. No one knew where the pack of dogs came from, nor did they understand how they knew about the landslide. But that night, on the deserted mountain pass, the 3 stray dogs became silent heroes, saving a man's life with their courage and loyalty. Horrifying discovery inside an oak tree. The mystery of a dog missing for more than 20 years. In 1980, in a dense forest in the state of Georgia, a group of loggers were working as usual. The towering ancient oak trees, their roots deep in the ground, were silent witnesses of time. They had no idea that on that day, they would unearth a mystery that had been buried for decades. The chainsaw roared, splinters of wood flew as one of the loggers hacked at the trunk of a massive oak tree. As the trunk fell, something inside made them freeze. A curled figure, its hollow eyes still in panic. It was the body of a hunting dog, almost perfectly preserved. Curiosity quickly turned to shock. How could a dog get stuck in a tree like that? After reporting to the local authorities, experts arrived at the scene and came up with a surprising explanation. Based on the location of the body and its posture, they speculated that the dog, nicknamed Rusty, may have chased an animal, possibly a squirrel or a raccoon, and accidentally entered the hole at the base of the tree. When it tried to climb out, it got stuck and could not turn around. As time passed, the tree continued to grow, gradually closing the space around it, burying the poor dog inside. Normally, an animal carcass would decompose, but Rusty was preserved thanks to the special conditions of the oak tree. The air inside was dry and contained tannin, a natural compound that helps prevent decomposition. Over the years, Rusty's body became a form of natural mummification, retaining its almost intact shape, with only its empty eyes and bared teeth as a forever forgotten cry for help. Rusty's story quickly spread, attracting the attention of the press and the scientific community. The dog's body was later preserved and displayed in a local museum, becoming a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the dangers lurking in nature. Outside in the forest, the old oak tree was gone, but the mystery of Rusty remained, like a story that never really ended. The touching story of Romeo the dog, immortal love. Located in a small town in the French countryside, Romeo the dog has become a legend of loyalty and eternal waiting. In 1939, when Romeo's owner, Mr. Jacques Moreau, picked him up in a wild field with injuries all over his body, no one thought that this little dog would become an indispensable part of Moreau's life. Every day, when Mr. Moreau takes the train to work at the factory, Romeo always follows his master, sits right next to the train tracks, and patiently waits for him to return in the late afternoon. The image of the little dog waiting for his master in the cold wind of winter days or under the harsh summer sun has become familiar to the villagers. But in 1942, World War II suddenly came to the peaceful town. In a surprise air raid, the factory where Moreau worked was hit by a bomb, killing him and many others. Romeo did not understand that his master was no longer there. He still patiently waited by the railway tracks every day, regularly taking the trains every late afternoon, expecting a familiar figure to step down. For 14 long years, Romeo did not miss a single day. The villagers pitied the little dog. Some brought food. Others petted and cared for him as if he were part of the village. In 1956, Romeo breathed his last right at the place where he often waited for Moreau. When he passed away, the whole town held a solemn funeral for Romeo. The villagers erected a small memorial right at the corner of the train station, where the little dog had patiently waited for its owner for many years. The story of Romeo has become a symbol of unconditional love and loyalty, reminding us that no matter how much time passes, true feelings remain an eternal part of life. Finn the dog's courage. In a small riverside town in southern Italy, there was a little dog named Finn. Finn was a cross between a Cocker Spaniel and a Chihuahua, with soft brown fur and big round eyes, always shining with intelligence and mischief. Although he was less than a year old, Finn had become a loyal friend of Leo, his owner. The two were inseparable, sharing happy and warm moments every day. One autumn afternoon, as the sun was gradually setting behind the distant mountains, Leo was sitting in the living room reading a book. Finn curled up at his feet, his little ears perked up as if listening to every sound around him. Suddenly, Finn jumped up and started barking continuously towards the back door. At first, Leo didn't pay attention, thinking that Finn was just excited because he heard noises outside. But when the barking became more urgent, he stood up to check. When he stepped out into the backyard, Leo was startled to see a large snake trying to crawl into the house through the crack in the door. Finn immediately rushed forward, standing in front of Leo and growling warily. The animal backed away, but still appeared aggressive. Realizing the dangerous situation, Leo quickly grabbed a nearby broom to chase it away. Finally, the animal ran away into the darkness, leaving Leo and Finn to breathe a sigh of relief. But soon after, Finn let out a soft groan and backed away, his little legs trembling. Leo panicked and picked up his dog. Realizing that Finn seemed exhausted, he immediately took Finn to the nearest vet. Fortunately, after receiving timely care, Finn recovered. The doctor praised Finn's quick-wittedness and bravery in protecting his owner from danger. In the following days, Leo always spent more time taking care of and loving Finn. From then on, Finn was not only a cute little dog, but also a hero in Leo's heart. The story of Finn's bravery spread throughout the town, becoming a symbol of loyal friendship and irreplaceable bond. The touching story of a shepherd puppy. One beautiful spring day in a small village in Germany, there was a dark brown shepherd puppy named Max. Max had just been born, was still nursing his mother, and lived happily with his other puppies. After only a few weeks, unfortunately, Max's mother suddenly became ill. Despite the dedicated care of the veterinarians, Max's mother's illness became more and more serious. One morning, when the sunlight just shone through the window, Max woke up and realized that his mother was no longer by his side. The pain of loss filled the puppy's heart. With no more mother's milk to drink, Max felt weak and lonely. However, fate smiled on Max. One day, while he was wandering in the garden, he met a mother sheep taking care of her lambs. Seeing Max alone, the mother sheep felt sorry. Even though he was not her child, she decided to give Max a chance to live. The mother sheep breastfed Max, helping the puppy recover. In the following days, Max lived with the sheep. He felt happy to be cared for and loved, but deep in his heart, Max always missed his mother. He began to learn how to run and play with the other lambs. Gradually, Max became stronger and more agile. As time passed, Max not only became a healthy dog, but also a loyal friend of the sheep. He protected them from outside dangers, such as wolves and other enemies. With his courage and loyalty, Max proved that love can come from the most unexpected places. One day, while protecting the sheep, Max discovered a wolf lurking. Without hesitation, he rushed towards the wolf, barking loudly to chase it away. Although he knew that he might be in danger, Max only thought about protecting his friends. In the end, his bravery helped drive the wolf away, and the sheep were safe. When she saw Max fighting for their safety, the mother sheep felt proud. She knew that the love she had for Max had helped him grow up and become an excellent sheepdog. Max was not just a rescued puppy, but also a symbol of courage and friendship. Max's story spread throughout the village, becoming a legend of love and sacrifice. Even without his mother, Max found a new family and a purpose in life. The shepherd puppy lived a meaningful life. On a small deserted street in town, Mr. Walter lived alone in an old wooden house. He used to have a happy family, but old age and illness took everything away. A stroke made it difficult for him to walk, and from then on he lived in silence. One cold winter day, when the snow covered the yard, Mr. Walter heard a noise outside the door. When he opened it, he saw a little dog. Its fur was shaggy, shivering from the cold. Its eyes were pleading. Mr. Walter couldn't bear to leave it outside in the cold, so he decided to bring it inside and named it Max. From that day on, Max became his companion. It helps him pick up things that fall on the floor, carries mail to his bed, and even pulls the blanket over him when it's cold. But most importantly, Max brings Mr. Walter the joy he has long lost. One night, a strong snowstorm hit. Mr. Walter had a high fever, his body was shaking from the cold, but he couldn't reach the phone to call for help. Max realized something was wrong. He barked loudly, but no one heard. Without hesitation, he rushed out into the storm, running towards the nearest neighbor's house. Mrs. Helen, the kind neighbor, heard Max's fierce barking outside the door. When she opened it, she saw Max jumping up, pulling her shirt urgently. Sensing something was wrong, she quickly ran after Max to Mr. Walter's house. Seeing him lying motionless, she immediately called an ambulance. Thanks to Max, Mr. Walter was rushed to the hospital in time. When he woke up, he saw Max lying beside him, his little tail wagging happily. Tears of joy rolled down his cheeks. From then on, the neighbors visited him more often, and Max became the bridge that brought Mr. Walter back to life. Max was not just a dog, but a little angel who saved a lonely soul. His story spread throughout the town, reminding everyone that loyalty and love can change a life.